Welcome to the high school financial planning program. This is Module 1, Money Management, learning how to control your cash flow, and this is Lesson 2, Goals and Goal Settings. So here's what we're planning to do today. After this lesson, you are going to be able to figure out a plan to achieve your personal finance goals, and you'll also be setting your own personal finance goals. Before we even begin our lesson today, I want you to take a moment and brainstorm situations when a teen or a young adult might purchase a big ticket item. So that's a big ticket item is something that you might spend more than $100 on. So think of some examples of big ticket items that teens or young adults might pay for while in high school, and maybe even when transitioning into young adulthood. So there's a couple different times that you could think of these big ticket items. Things that you might purchase this semester, this quarter, things that you might want to purchase in the next year, or even things that you might need to purchase more than a year from now. So take a moment and think about those. When I think back to some items that I had to purchase in high school, one of the biggest things that comes to mind was a graphing calculator. You've seen those huge TI-84 calculators, those graphing calculators that they use in algebra and geometry. Those cost at least $100, if not more. But we could also think that purchasing a new phone or a laptop, those are things you might be purchasing this semester to help you with the school year. In the future, you might want to save up for a new pair of sneakers or maybe a new handbag. Other things that you might want to purchase more than a year from now, especially as you're transitioning into young adulthood, you might be planning to purchase a new car or a house or even renting a house. You might think about spending money on college. So those are just some items that teens and young adults might have to pay money for that are super, super expensive. They range from only hundreds of dollars to thousands and thousands of dollars for things like a new house or college. So just to preview the types of work that you are going to be doing throughout this lesson, here's some questions that we're going to be answering. How can your personal goals be achieved through money goals? How do you write effective financial goals? And how do you prioritize actions while working to achieve several goals at the same time? So by the end of this lesson, you are going to be able to use what you've learned to write some financial goals for big ticket items, so those expensive items that you might have to purchase in the future. This right here is probably one of my favorite quotes. Shoot for the moon. Even if you miss, you'll land among the stars. This was first said by musician Brian Luttrell. And I love this quote. I definitely think it shows that there is value behind establishing our goals. If you shoot for the moon, if you're trying to aim for the moon, that's this big, glorious sphere that we see in our night sky. Even if you miss, our space is so vast and so wide that even if you miss, Luttrell says that you'll be able to land among the stars. Now, it might take you an exceedingly long time to land among the stars, but to be aiming for the moon is it's a glorious idea, and I love the imagery that he brings to life with this quote. But goal setting, let's get back to goal setting. Goal setting, it begins by identifying the desired end result. So here, if we're shooting for the moon, that's our end result. We want to get to the moon. Think of this situation. Imagine that you were going to throw a birthday party for one of your friends. Do you think you would just throw it all together at the last minute and say, hey, I'm having a party, come on over? No, probably not. You would want to decide on the goal, like throwing a great birthday party for your friend, and then work backwards to figure out everything you'd need to make that happen. So what might you need to make a great birthday party? Well, you'll need friends there to celebrate with your friends. You'll probably want some games or activities to be played at this birthday party, or some great music, some great food, probably a birthday cake. Presents are kind of a must, maybe. But you work backwards, and then you use those items to make sure that you're going to hit your goal, to make sure that you're going to reach your goal of a great birthday party. So goal setting, using this idea of goal setting, it's the same exact thing that we should do with our money. Many people spend and spend and spend and spend, and then they wonder why they're short of funds when it's time to pay the bills at the end of the month. Or they wonder why they never have the money they want, or the money they need for the things they want. And if they set clear goals, if we learn to set clear goals and we create plans that help us achieve our goals, and then we work at our plans, then we're going to be much less stressed and a whole lot happier in the area of our finances and even in our life goals. So today's lesson is going to help you figure out what your desired financial results should be, and then it's going to help you plan those goals and help you attain those goals. Let's go ahead and visit again with Michael and Selena. Go ahead, if you would, and turn to page 14 in your student booklet. We're going to go down to the bottom of that page where it says Get Smart with Goals. I want you to go ahead and read about Michael's and Selena's goals. So pause this screen and go ahead and read about Michael and Selena's goals. So we have two different scenarios here. First, we have Selena. She's still in high school, but she knows that she wants to save some money before she graduates. She's just not sure how much. And then we have Michael, who definitely needs to get some new tires for his car. And he is shocked to find out that a set of new tires is going to cost $500. That is a lot of money. That's about $125 per tire. Super expensive cost for a car. What do you think? Do you think that these guys are going to be able to be successful with their goals? Why? Why not? Right now, Michael's goal is pretty specific. He knows that he wants to buy some tires for his car, but he's amazed that it's $500. So it doesn't really sound like he has a lot of money saved, put away for $500 yet. Selena doesn't really know how much to save, but that doesn't mean that either of them are going to be successful or unsuccessful. So if you go to the top of page 15 in your book, in your student guide, Selena and Michael both realize it's time to get smart about their goals. They need goals that are specific, that are measurable, attainable, relevant, and time-bound. So if you look at this is the SMART acronym. It's basically a checklist for creating really awesome goals that are going to help you and guide you to success. So we're going to start looking at this acronym and looking at specific questions that can be used for each of these letters. So is this goal specific? When we're talking about specific goals, we're asking ourselves these questions. What needs to be accomplished? Who else is going to be involved? Where will this take place? Or why do I want to accomplish this goal? So think back to Michael. He wants to get new tires for his car. Is his goal specific? Well, sure it is. Mike needs to replace all 4 of his tires on his car because the treads are worn out. So that's a reason to accomplish it, and it explains exactly what needs to be accomplished. He needs to get new tires. The next part of the SMART goal is asking yourself if the goal is measurable. Well, how will I know if I've succeeded in this goal? Or how much change needs to occur in order for me to reach my goal? How many actions will it take? Is this just 1 or 2 steps to reach my goal? Or is this something that may take a while and a lot of work? So for Michael, he needs to have tires on his car with treads that provide good traction when driving in snow and rain conditions. Especially in Lynchburg, it rains a lot, and the past few years we've had a lot of snow here. Driving without good traction on your tires is very unsafe. So for him to be able to meet his goal, here's the measurable part. He needs to find out how much new tires will cost. That is measurable. I can say, oh, new tires are going to cost $500. he needs to save the money for his tires, and then he needs to schedule an appointment to replace his tires. So is the goal measurable? This is definitely a measurable goal, but he's got some steps that he's going to have to take before his goal is complete. Next question is the goal attainable? You can ask questions like, do I have or can I get the resources needed to achieve this goal? For Michael, he needs new tires. He's going to have to get $500 in order to reach his goal. Is it a reasonable stretch for you? It's not out of reach or it's not too easy. So we do know that Michael has a job. We learned that in lesson 1. So he at least has some money that he's getting each month or every paycheck. He might have some savings too that will help him attain his goal. And are the actions I plan to take likely to bring success? Do I have the right actions in place, or am I doing things completely wrong? If I'm doing things incorrectly, I might not be able to attain my goal. So, okay, Mike has money saved. He's working, so he can pay for the new tires. He also knows how to compare prices at 3 businesses near his house. $500 is a huge price to pay. So if he can find somebody who's going to sell him tires for $20 less or even $50 less, he'll probably prefer to go to that mechanic rather than one that sells it for more expensive prices. Okay, R stands for relevant. So is my goal relevant? Is this a worthwhile goal for me right now? Or should I maybe be working on something different? Is it meaningful to me? Or is it just somebody else gave me this goal and now I have to do it because they told me to? Is it going to delay or prevent me from achieving a more important goal? I think this one is huge. So many times we might be working on multiple goals at the same time. And we want to be careful that we put the more important goals and prioritize those ahead of goals that might be smaller and might not be worthwhile right now. And are you willing to commit to achieving this goal? This one is also huge. We can write goals, but if we don't do anything about it, then our goals are never going to be accomplished. So for Michael, he wants to replace his current worn out tires for new tires. Why is this relevant? Well, it's going to improve fuel efficiency. That means that he doesn't have to pay as much for gas, and it's going to reduce the risk of having a flat tire at an inconvenient time. So low treads mean that you could get a flat tire faster. It also means that you don't have good traction on the road. So you could actually be a little bit unsafe with bad tires. And lastly, is this goal time-bound? This one is huge. We don't just want a goal hanging around us for years and years and years and years. There probably should be some type of a deadline for reaching this goal. When do you need to take action so that you can reach this goals? And what can you do today? Well, Mike, he does want to replace his tire soon, preferably by the end of next month. So he needs to get $500 by the end of next month. And by the end of this week, he's going to request 3 quotes to compare tire prices. So that's what he's doing like this week. He's going to talk to mechanics. He needs to take action now. He needs to take action by the end of next month as well so that he can get those tires. Now that we've finished going through the SMART questions, I'd like you to turn to page 16 and read the top half. So go ahead and pause this and read the top half of page 16 in your student guide. Here you see that Selena and Michael have created 2 really good SMART goals. They're SMART because they are specific, they are measurable, these goals are attainable, they're relevant, and they're time-bound. So you can see Selena wants to save $1,000 by August 1st after high school graduation, so she doesn't have to worry about money emergencies. Starting today, she's going to put $25 in her savings account. Michael's going to transfer $40 weekly from his paychecks into a savings account so that he has $500 set aside to buy new tires. I'd like for you to complete activity 1.6, the SMART Goal Makeover. So Selena and Michael have other goals that they want to set, but the goals that they have are not the smartest. So right now, go ahead and create SMART goals for Selena and Michael that answer all of the questions. They are specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time-bound. And we will review some of your work in the next video.